ago, Joe Gibbs took over as head coach of the Redskins. In the 80s, he guided them to 3 NFC titles and 2 Super Bowl championships. This season, expectations for a return to the playoffs were high, but injuries forced less experienced players into action, and turnovers meant uncharacteristic Washington defeats. Now these newcomers are contributing, and the Redskins have won 3 of their last 4, keeping their slim playoff hopes alive. A Washington victory today would fuel those hopes and add Joe Gibbs' name to an elite NFL coaching list. 100-game winners.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the San Diego Chargers versus the Washington Redskins.
40 degrees and sunny in the nation's capital. The pre-holiday blanket of snow of 2 days ago swept aside, and RFK Stadium with its usual sellout in perfect condition. What a great football day, the time of the year in December, where on one hand there are the teams fighting for the playoffs, the Washington Redskins, faint hopes alive for the playoffs wild card, and other teams playing for 1990, the Chargers, who have won only 4. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh here. Hope you'll enjoy the game. And Bill Walsh for Joe Gibbs. Enjoyment comes in another win, making 100.
100 wins. That's 100 weeks of total sacrifice, 60 or 70 hours of work, the agonies of the game. 100 times he's won, making him really one of the great coaches of our time. Also establishing the Redskin organization as one of the best in football.
The Redskins bring to this game 3 receivers, all of whom might gain 1,000 yards in receptions this year. They go against the San Diego defense that's allowed only 11 touchdown passes. It's a defense good enough to beat good teams, Philadelphia, Kansas City, the Raiders.
Well, it's been a good defense. They've struggled. They've lost 4 games in the last 2 minutes. So the defense is very effective. It's still maturing, but they've lost 4 games in the last closing plays. And they say that 4 plays out of that season, they could have a very good record. So that defense is going against one of the very potent offenses in the game. But Billy Joe Tolliver, a young quarterback as a rookie, is here in RFK Stadium, one of the toughest places to play against a very, very sound Washington team.
Tolliver in his 3rd NFL start. He was injured in the preseason, missed the first 7 games of the year. There's Dan Henning on his left. Henning, an assistant under Joe Gibbs for several years before he took the Atlanta job, and now the new head man in San Diego, first of a 5-year contract. Been a tough year for him. Only 4 wins. He's been in every game except the opener when they lost to the Raiders 40-14. Joe Gibbs from North Carolina, Mocksville, North Carolina. Now 49 is Joe, and 99 wins in the bank. And he could not hold back his excitement. He said, it's dawned on me, this is really a significant hurdle for me to win 100 games. Billy Joe Tolliver from Texas Tech. Howard Thompson, the rookie Hall from Rice, Richards and Patton, a reworked offensive line. Marion Butts, a rookie and a big guy at 250. Craig McEwen, a former Redskin at H-back. Anthony Miller, there's a legitimate star in the Charger offense. Wayne Walker, a rookie. He was a Texas Tech receiver with Tolliver. Got plenty of speed. Arthur Cox, a tight end. And when they go to their pass set, Darren Nelson, the former Viking, comes in along with Holland, the man who just returned the kickoff. First down, 22. Big Arthur Cox, the tight end in motion, and Butts is stuffed. 2-yard loss. Fred Stokes, the former Ram, leading the charge, number 60. The defense for the Washington Redskins: Mann, Charles Mann, Tracy Rocker, rookie from Auburn, Darrell Grant, and Stokes, the man who just spearheaded that charge. Caldwell Olkowitz playing in his final home game, the veteran from Maryland. Wilbur Marshall, the ex-Bear. Mayhew and Johnson, 2 little cornerbacks. Vaughn and Bowles at safety. And again, the injuries that have hit this Washington team during the year inordinately high. Takers for the Chargers. Mann, Stensrud, Grant, and Stokes now will be the down 4. Caldwell and Coleman, the linebackers. Mayhew, Johnson, Vaughn, Bowles, and Davis, the deep backs. Allen, the man in motion. Tolliver's first throw, and he goes deep. And the receiver was held, and a flag goes down. And that may have saved a touchdown. Anthony Miller, who is a long bomb threat, was breaking clear, and Wayne Davis appeared to grab him. Also the first down automatically. First down at the 22. Fake to Butts. Tolliver, he wings it long for Miller, and he's got it at the Redskins 28-yard line.
Well, before the game, we were told that this is the kind of thing that would be utilized this week.
has a big hole up the middle, and the 250-pound fullback is down to the 25-yard line. Played at Florida State with Sammy Smith, known more for special teams and blocking.
He's outside and runs into the flat and tries to get the first down.
Third down and 6. And Tolliver goes for it all to Miller, and it's a touchdown. Anthony Miller wide open as he beats Wayne Davis, and the Chargers strike on the rookie arm of Tolliver and the clever patterns and all-out speed of Anthony Miller. They lead 7-0.
Well, here we get good protection up inside. Now into the corner, you'll see Miller completely beating Davis to the outside. That when you're beating somebody by 2 or 3 yards, you've really got him.
And Big Red from Texas Tech, Billy Joe Tolliver, celebrates the early lead. Plenty of coverage in the center, and this time Miller took it outside.
So Wayne Davis must have played the wrong technique.
Rippon on play action has a man wide open, Don Warren, the tight end, and he's into Charger territory to the 48-yard line. Gary Plummer and Cedric Figueroa. The Chargers have a Plummer and a Barber at linebacker.
It's a bootleg all the way. They completely fool people to the outside. No one to cover it in a zone defense.
Don, 12th catch of the year, but such a solid player for many years. The throw to Monk, and Art Monk adds a few more yards to his march toward 1,000 as he's stormed by Vincey Glenn. Let's look at the Redskin offense. That pickup of about 7. Lachey, the ex-Charger tackle, McKenzie, Bostic, the veteran, Schlereth from Alaska, and Ed Simmons. Rippon, Biner, the running back from Cleveland. What a trade. Warren, Sanders, Monk, and Clark, the wide receivers. When they go to heavy, 3 tight ends, Warren, Tice, and Orr. And this is one of the top defenses in the league, especially against the pass. Lee Williams has a dozen sacks. Joe Phillips in the middle. Bert Grossman, the rookie from Pittsburgh, the number 1 pick, has 7. Billy Ray Smith doesn't get the publicity he deserves. But Gary Plummer, Figueroa, O'Neill, Leslie O'Neill has 10.5 sacks. Bird, Seal, Bayless, and Glenn, the back 4. And they are going to pressure the quarterback. 3rd and 1, Biner. I don't think he made it. Cedric Figueroa. That is the option of Rippon or the Washington captains, just to see how far shy they are of a first down. It's Biner, and he has the first down. Gil Bird makes the tackle at the 36. And Gerald Riggs, 37, comes in for the Redskins. Lee Williams, Miller, O'Neill, and Grossman, now the front 4 in the prevent. Smith, Bird, Seal, Wiles, Glenn, Bennett, and Patterson, the defenders in the dime package for San Diego. 3rd and 9, Rippon on the roll. Good protection. And it's incomplete as Elvis Patterson comes over to make the hit on Art Monk. Phil McConkey, the ex-Giant, is deep. He lets it go, and it takes a backward bounce, and it is... Nope, not down. For some reason, the Redskins let the ball roll after it was touched. They could have downed it, but it trickled to the goal line, and the Chargers with a break will get it at the 20. And for some reason, we have a timeout. San Diego, a surprising early lead. Quarter, the Chargers have the ball for the second time, leading 7-0. Marion Butts has some running room. He's to the 29. It'll be 2nd and 1. Wolkowitz, the veteran, number 52, playing in his final season. This will be his last home game. Had a rip-roaring ovation for him as he was introduced. His teammates belting him on the helmet, congratulating him on his years and wishing him well. First down as Butts plows to the 34-yard line. Wolkowitz got him headed in the right direction. Tolliver looking big and throwing long for Walker, his college teammate, and he has a first down at the Redskin 21. And they're picking that deep defense apart. Bowles and Mayhew made the tackle, and little Wayne Walker, they call him Bug, 5'8" and 162.
Far enough over to make a play. We're straight down the field. You don't see a safety, but you see a corner on the outside. So that allows Walker to get inside position and make his catch. So often a rookie would over or underthrow these passes.
Here comes Butts trying the left side this time. Gets up ahead of steam. He's tough to bring down, as they learned last week in the uniform of the Jets when he went some 40 yards and ran through 5 or 6 tacklers. Just a solo effort for a touchdown.
Running late in the year is breaking down a lot of fatigued defenders who've played now going on 14 games.
2nd and 1.
3 tight ends.
Butts again. may have the first down. He's playing with a heavy heart today. His mother passed away early this week on Monday. He was gone most of the week from practices, rejoined the team, and playing for the woman that inspired him is Marion Butts today.
Now they need a touchdown. A field goal isn't going to hold up, so he needs 7 points at this position on the field.
You look for maybe a pass here on 3rd and inches?
I think he'll go right inside to this fullback.
And it is Butts. Met sharply as he got to the line of scrimmage and driven back. Raven Caldwell, 50, was the man there first. 2nd and 10. Andy Parker was open at the other corner of the end zone. No one near him. There's the throw to Miller. Well thrown by Tolliver, and Miller bounced out of bounds at the 5 by Martin Mayhew, the first-year corner from Florida State. 3rd down, a short 4, 5 yards for a touchdown. Touchdown it is to Wayne Walker, his first NFL score. So the Texas Tech connection, Tolliver to Walker. It was Walker who had not been drafted, and Tolliver said, hey, I had a great little receiver at Tech. You better take a look at him.
Get a pattern to the outside here, then up into the corner. And meanwhile, we have people in the flat. This man back here, coverage is dropped on it. So you see the ball snap up the field, into the flat. Now watch the break down into the corner right here, and the Russian defender right there loses track of him. Ball carriers outside. Touchdown.
That took an arm to drill it through that defense, though. Tolliver is showing what the Chargers like most about him, that this guy only 6 feet tall can wing it. Flag, and here's Hank Illisick on 4th down and 8. He lines one toward Joe Howard at the 20. Waits for his blockers. Does a good job. Now he's got some room. And finally caught from behind at the Charger 40-yard line. Joe Howard.
Times, and this is really about the only thing San Diego isn't handling.
Rippon going long for Clark, but right into the arms of Gil Byrd, who has his 7th interception of the year. It's whistled dead back inside the 10-yard line. So Byrd, who had 7 thefts last year, has 7 more this year, and that moves him into a tie with Kenny Graham as the number 2 pass interceptor in Charger history with a total of 25. Already down, so first down, Billy Joe Tolliver at his 9-yard line. Butts. He eluded a man in the backfield and drives to the 19-yard line. About 9 more for Marion Butts.
Big offensive line of either team could control the game.
Butts hit just as he took the handoff. Lucky that wasn't a fumble. He doesn't gain a thing. Tracy Rocker, number 99. The first pick of the Skins in the last draft, although it came in the 3rd round out of Auburn. Redskins playing at 230, only 6 feet tall. He said, I was too little for Penn State. That's where I wanted to go. Tolliver to the tight end, Arthur Cox. He's 277 pounds. You can almost feel the shake when he hit the ground at the 24-yard line. And the Chargers, that's right, San Diego leading 14-0. Sidearms it out to Walker, and it's a catch at the 32-yard line. That looked like a second baseman starting a double play.
Well, to play backup quarterback for a while and take the job, it certainly seems to be the thing that's going to work out.
Raven Caldwell makes the tackle on Marion Butts as Butts drives close to another San Diego first down. Triple left, play action, good protection, and wide open is Walker. Oh, is he hit, and he hangs onto the ball at the Redskin 37. Little but tough is Walker, who has another big gainer, 28 yards. 25 left in the half.
Again, nice soft touch pass to let Walker get underneath it.
Again, a fake to Butts. Tolliver guns it wide open, incomplete, and there's the easy one. Walker makes a tough catch and then dropped the easy one. The Charger passing numbers, but not today. Billy Joe's done a good job. He throws that one away, no flag, and there wasn't any receiver near that one. Arthur Cox, the tight end, was, well, in the ballpark, and that was about it.
Rid of the ball prematurely.
That last look of Billy Joe Tolliver, now I know who he reminds me of. Illisick Howard lets it go, and the Chargers are going to let it just roll out, and the clock goes with it. 1:45, 1:44 down at the 7-yard line. With the broad shoulders, short, red hair, why not? Sonny Jurgensen, the Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's who it with a solid arm. But watch a lookalike, a young lookalike. Mark Rippon, he needs something in a hurry, and he goes out to Gary Clark, who makes a spectacular catch out at the 19-yard line. And the Redskins with only 2 timeouts and a minute and a half to go.
Joe Gibbs would most likely run the clock out here, but in this case, he thinks he can go for it. They're down 14-0. They've got to get 3 points at least off on that board.
He passed when they weren't running. To the sidelines to Monk, and he's got another catch, but doesn't get out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 1 minute to go in the half. 1 timeout left. To the far sidelines, and it was almost intercepted by Elvis Patterson, but Clark steals it away. What hands he has. He is strong for a man 5'9" and 173. Good protection again. Now Rippon scrambles, throws. And it's the Sanders short yardage, and the clock continues to run. Roy Bennett, an extra defensive back, number 23, was there first. Defensive line, George Hinkle, not active. He's been placed on injured reserve by San Diego.
Plenty of time.
And he's going to go for a big one. He's got Sanders open. Touchdown!
You're going to see him sprint this way and then throw all the way back over here. Chargers funneling this way, and there's just no one there. When the ball comes down, it's going to be thrown and caught at full stride. So you see all the way across the field, faking left, then up over the top. And people just lost their concentration briefly, but that's a fine catch running full speed, and that ball traveling that far. But again, Dick, the pass protection allowed him to do it.
Here's Sanders moves
straight up the field, nods out. Then again, there isn't the speed there to stay with him. The defenders, the entire secondary of the Chargers isn't very quick. They don't have the speed, and it demonstrated itself.
Well, that's really an emotional turnabout for Joe Gibbs' Redskins, who have played a very quiet first half, to be able to cut the lead in half with a long bomb, 45 yards, a 93-yard march in 7 plays season. And Sanders gets his 4th to cap a very impressive drive engineered by Mark Rippon. For his season totals, but no damage done, Mark Rippon giving the Redskin fans hope after they trailed the entire half and finally cut it to 14-7. Here's the touchdown again as Rippon
pumps to his left, then throws back to his right. He has one man he's going to look to, and he's got it open. Again, it's the speed that made the difference.
Ricky Sanders caught the back end of the ball.
Well, the 265 yards in the first half is close to the Charger total for a game. So that shows you that they have gelled somewhat.
Art Monk adds another to the list, out to the 41-yard line, a 6-yard gain for Monk, who needed 7 catches at the start today to tie Charlie Taylor for number 3 all-time. He now has 4.
With his experience and exposure to the game, he's solid.
Redskins with only 16 yards rushing the entire first half. Right back to Monk, and he's got another, and with it a first down at the 46-yard line.
National outburst, because that's going to cost him games.
2nd and 11, and in traffic, it's Ricky Sanders, the touchdown man, and he's all the way to the San Diego 20-yard, 30-yard line. Receivers over 900 yards this year.
Sanders is quick. Look at this nimble movement. Excellent running instincts and tough going down that sideline. Chargers have to at least slow the Redskins down to stay in this game.
Gerald Riggs into the game, number 37. And he stopped short of any big yardage by Cedric Figueroa. Ernest Finer. He's to the 21-yard line. That'll be short of a first down.
For their sake, I'm sure that they could just limit this to 3 points.
Rippon. Great catch. Nope. Clark They rule it a catch and a fumble. No, now finally someone comes in waving incomplete. Gil Bird, 22, was the man who made the hit. Just inside the 38. And the kick is right down the middle. 38-yard field goal by Lohmiller. And that cuts the Charger lead to 14-10 on the opening possession of the second half. 11:04 now remaining in the third. And it's the Chargers 14, the Redskins 10.
Third quarter against a top-notch opponent. They're going to have to keep their composure.
Underneath the Walker, incomplete, and he is drilled by Olkowitz. Home game here at RFK, 11 solid years. 2nd and 10, Marion Butts to the 30, a pickup of 5. Butts had over 40 yards rushing in the first half. Monusky and Coleman made the tackle. Incomplete. Walker suddenly has had the drops. He's dropped 3 or 4 balls since starting the game brilliantly. That could have been a first down. Instead, the Redskins will get the ball.
Character as a team. They're finding out about themselves right now.
Ilisic handles a low snap. Wobbly kick. Ooh, that almost hit one of the Redskins. And finally it's down near midfield. Washington will take over at the 46th in Redskin territory with 9:53 left in the third, and the lead is only 4. Finally, they felt he wasn't building himself up upper body strength, even though he was a good player, wasn't a great player. Rippon just gets it away. Bayless putting the pressure on, and it's a catch for Monk and a first down at the 40 of San Diego.
Deep enough or sound enough to stop that play. Should have been 5 yards deeper in his drop.
Here's Monk, and he's just picking up a bundle full. Another catch for Monk, and 9 more yards. And that is his 7th, and he now ties that great receiver, Charlie Taylor. Charlie says, I've had the champagne ready. Hurry up and break my record. And the crowd now acknowledges that he has tied Taylor.
Move up that ladder as far as receptions are concerned.
He's only 31.
Yeah,
he's got some years left.
He's got at least 2 years left, and he'll move up. He's a sound player, and he's generally been injury-free with great stamina. He's excellent at the end of the season, so I can't help but think he'd be a Hall of Fame player.
Onions who played in this area in all sports are honored here at RFK. Underneath, wide open is Clark. Gil Bird on the corner runs him out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Chargers Dick are going to need a real break here to stay in the game.
Biner breaking into the secondary and a first down at the 14.
He could be the best in the league. Hitting from Indianapolis is great, but
almost intercepted by Figueroa. Oh, that has set us up. You were ready for an aria. I could just see you getting ready to sing a total aria. Smooth. 3rd and 10. And he throws it away. Good pressure from Bert Grossman. Washington, 31 yards. And it's now a 1-point game, 14-13. Incomplete through the hands of his tight end, Arthur Cox. Now, in fairness to Tolliver, his receivers have been a bit unkind since the first quarter. On one. Kind of thinking of a matinee idol type. This is one, huh?
Yeah, a little stagey.
Ripping to the sidelines to Clark, and he's open again at the Charger 49. Another first down. 13 more yards for Clark. We're going to have to update that run toward 1,000 yards. These receivers for Rippon all going for 1,000 to become only the second team to sport a hat trick in that regard. And
he's done it any number of times.
Draw play. Biner protecting the ball, gets about 4. Gary Plummer makes the tackle. Whether it's working when we saw him take that swipe earlier on Don Warren. Team trying to be the big spoiler. Beat up on Buffalo and now trying to upset Cincinnati. Here's Art Monk. He's all alone now. A first down with his 650th career catch. He'll keep that ball. Big play, 3rd and 9.
Like a blitz front. Looks like they're all going to come. They're going to take a chance on it. Here they come.
The throw hit it. Oh, Elvis Patterson had it thrown right to him and seemed to jump too soon. And instead of an interception to deny a score, here comes the field goal unit, and Lohmeyer will go for the lead.
Things done, you can't get anything done. That was
33-yard field goal for the lead, and Washington is in front. 16-14 as Lohmeyer hits his 3rd of the 3rd quarter. Rippon not happy. He's lucky they got the 3.
Work hard in practice. Maybe they shouldn't be playing. But everybody responded, as you assume they would, with his direction.
Bojanko handled a low snap nicely. Here's Phil McConkey to the 39-yard line with 12:23 remaining in the 4th quarter. Washington 16, San Diego 14 from the 39. There's a man open, Miller, and a first down at the Washington 46.
Got a flag, Dick.
And it's back in San Diego territory, holding Chargers.
We won 3 games against good opposition that made the difference, but it takes that long.
Screen as they invited Charles Mann in and got it to Darren Nelson, and he scoots out to the 46-yard line. Good play. That got the 10 back from the penalty, plus about 7 more. Underneath, and that'll be the first down. Just enough. Diego. They've made it a game. And they pull the upset. They're underdogs by 10 points. Wide open. What a catch by Nelson. 30, 25. What a move. And he's inside the 20 into the 15-yard line. Oh, my. Darren Nelson.
Late, and no one looked for him. Clean. And that's not Redskin football.
Look at these moves now.
You notice also Darren runs up the field. A lot of people, even like...
First down San Diego at the Skins 15. Marion Butts bowling his way for 5 with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. At the 10-yard line, 2nd and 5. Butts breaks a tackle, and he has a touchdown. Marion Butts. He gets that 250 pounds going, and tough to stop. His 9th score of the year.
They've found somebody in Butts. That power, especially in the later stages of the game. The players don't feel fatigued, but they are. They'll be the same.
Here's the kick by Barr to the 10. Howard, who's had some good returns today, and the season squirts out. He's at the 50 and brought down at the 39-yard line. What a return by Joe Howard.
The special team returns for the Redskins are devastating the Chargers. You see the blocking all the way through. People are getting out of position because blockers are threatening them, and a man like Howard with that speed is just going to split people.
Rippon. And he wisely slides out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Well,
the game and very poorly in another, and it's basically because of a young team that's just being put together and orchestrated.
Not the depth, and there goes Rippon, long for Clark. Incomplete. From Buffalo for Wayne Davis. Now Wayne Davis is playing with the Redskins. 3rd and 4. Monk can't get that one. As Rippon hurrying with pressure from Vincey Glenn was coming up the middle on him.
And again, so much of the season rides for both of these clubs on this one play.
All that work in training camp, all that preparation.
4th and 4, pressure on. Rippon going for Clark. He's open. Touchdown. And with the thought they'd be singing them a lot today, but the Chargers have played Washington tough and made this a most interesting game.
Rippon nailed, knocked down as he threw the ball, but he's got his 6 points. That was a great job. Sometimes a quarterback, all the attention's on a receiver, and you look back and see what happens to a quarterback just as the ball's thrown. Chargers went to the blitz one too many times, left that middle open. Rippon just threw to a spot. Clark went and got the ball.
Well, Clark is over 1,000. Monk must be very close. And there is the problem. They fumble the ball, and Washington recovers. Charles Mann.
Tremendous pressure of the noise from the crowd. That can really affect your thought process.
Ernest Viner. He's down to the 5-yard line. Good yardage. You think about the big plays, and you go back even to the early field goals in this half. I'm trying to go up by more than a touchdown. And it's Viner. Stopped about at the 3-yard line.
To try to emulate what Gibbs has done.
1st and goal inside the 3. 4 tight ends. And Riggs, touchdown. A flag is down. Let's see. It's in the backfield of Washington.
Offense, number 53, 2nd down.
Veteran center Jeff Bostic with Sanders and Monk both to the right. Clark to the left. The throw for Clark. He's got it, but he's hit immediately at the 5-yard line. Good defensive play by the Chargers. Lester Lyles, number 24 from Virginia, after the game today. That's his favorite. Lowmiller hits it anyway, right at George Allen, the coach that used to be the winningest. Gibb has far surpassed Allen's marks here. 28 yards officially, and it's now 26-21 at the 30. Complete to Miller, who caught that one sitting down. That ball about a foot off the ground. Miller sliding low anyway. Just sat right there and has another 17 yards. 7-yard line of San Diego. 2.5 minutes to go. 5-point lead Washington. Oliver almost intercepted and a flag goes down. Todd Bowles darting in front of the intended target, Anthony Allen. Now, the Chargers are applauding. Stokes and Marshall were coming in on quarterback Oliver. 48-yard line of Washington, first down. 2:26 left. Good protection. And the throw to Darren Nelson. He had the big catch on the last touchdown drive and is inside the Skins' 40-yard line. A muscle and bone. 2nd and 1. 2 minutes to go. 5-point game. Oliver down the middle. And caught. How in the world did he catch it? He was being interfered with, and Miller comes up with it anyway.
That was beautifully thrown ball. It just got there an instant late, but it is.
The throw is to Wayne Walker, tackled inside the 10. They're going to give him progress, a good spot, close to the 6-yard line. That won't be a first down. There's plenty of time, 1:25, and they're still going to spend their last time out. Well, that man, Anthony Allen. Oliver, incomplete. They went for the touchdown, and Walker couldn't get it. Broken up by Martin Mayhew. Well, they went for it all.
They were really tight. They blitzed up inside, tight man-to-man coverage, and it was just thrown a little bit high. But again, they didn't have a physical receiver out there.
NFL history, our Budweiser MVP is Art Monk, who had a great game today for the Redskins. Big catches when they needed them. That's been his story. Neil Olkowitz in his final home game. You know, he's the kind of player that every team needs. Undersized, doesn't have great speed, tough, loves that helmet on, and it's going to be tough for him to hang it up today. There he is, Art Monk, our Budweiser MVP. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the most valuable players selected in today's game. Now stay tuned for the Budweiser NFL Report with Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson. All the scores and highlights for Bill Walsh. This is Dick Enberg in Washington, where the